In the last 14 years, I've made dozens of videos about sharpening, going into great detail about all sorts of methods for getting steel as sharp as possible, as quickly as possible. But I still get comments from folks who just want to know what's the best way to do it. They want to be told, do this or buy that, and your tools will always be sharp. I think this attitude comes from the fact that there's so much confusion out there. Everyone presents their personal opinions and preferences as solid fact, and worse yet, there's a lot of snake oil salesmen trying to push their latest gimmicks on people who don't need it. Well, this video will dispense with all that nonsense. I'm going to give you a quick, to-the-point, pros and cons rundown of all the popular sharpening methods that everyone talks about, so you can make an educated decision on what's best for you, whether you sharpen a lot of chisels and other straight-edge tools like me, or knives, or anything else. Then at the end, if you still can't decide, I'll tell you what I personally recommend. Either way, you're going to learn about sharpening more in the next few minutes than you ever thought possible. First, let's get something out of the way. Don't let anyone fool you. No matter the tools or the methods, all sharpening is basically the same in that you're rubbing rocks on steel. Those rocks may be actual rocks or minerals. They may be diamonds or some other substance. They may be attached to paper or mixed into a paste or formed into a stone. You might rub the steel on the rocks with muscle power, or you might rub the rocks on the steel with electric power. It's all the same idea. The rocks are harder than the steel, so they scratch away little bits of it. By using smaller and smaller rocks, you create finer and finer scratches until the edge is polished. That's how sharpening works. Everything else, the machines, the jigs, the stones, the pastes, the films, they're all simply different ways to rub the rocks on the steel with varying levels of efficiency and convenience. And they all work. It's just a matter of finding the right method for you. So let's discuss the pros and cons of the ways I've sharpened over the years. Sandpaper is often called the scary sharp method. This is what many new woodworkers try first because you don't have to spend so much to get started. All you need is a flat surface, some fine wet dry sandpaper, and maybe some spray adhesive and an inexpensive honing guide. Now, despite the scary sharp name, this method is not going to give you a finer edge than any other method. And while sandpaper may be a lot cheaper than stones at first, it does add up to quite a bit more over time. Not to mention spray adhesives can be messy. Oil and water stones have been used to sharpen woodworking tools since the beginning. Past generations used natural stones, and they were less concerned with the finest grits than we are today. Soft Arkansas stones were the most common, and they're comparable to our 1,000 grit sandpaper. Harder, finer stones were available, but they're rarely found in the tool collections of common country woodworkers. Today, water stones are available up to 30,000 grit if you want to really obsess over an edge. But the downside of stones is that they require regular maintenance to keep them flat, and they can be messy. A slurry of oil is never a good thing to have around your workbench area. Water stones don't use oil, of course, but they require pre-soaking, and that can also make a mess on your bench top. Diamond stones are like oil and water stones, but they stay flat without maintenance. They come in relatively coarse grits too, and that can be handy when you have to remove a lot of steel to reshape or repair an edge. But the nature of the manufacturing process makes it difficult to create a durable diamond stone in grits finer than about 1200. So you often have to follow up a diamond stone with a leather strop. Diamond stones should be lubricated, which can create a little bit of a mess, though not as much as with other stones. And the quality of the stone is a big factor as well. Shoddy size grading can lead to inconsistent grits. Poorly laminated stones may not remain flat. And bad electroplating can cause the diamonds to flake right off. That's why good quality diamond stones aren't cheap. Sharpening pastes aren't really used for sharpening, they're for honing, putting that final polish on an edge that's already been sharpened with another of these methods. They're made by suspending diamonds or minerals in waxes and oils so they can be spread on leather or paper or wood or some other flat surface. Pastes and compounds range from about 800 grit to the tiniest fraction of a micron, and they can put a real mirror finish on a tool. Paste can also be used on power sharpening systems, and they're relatively cheap, certainly less expensive than ultrafine sandpaper and honing films. Now, the fastest way to sharpen is freehand without a jig or a guide. If you take the time to master freehand sharpening, you'll be doing yourself a real favor. But naturally, beginners struggle with this, and many woodworkers simply don't sharpen often enough to maintain the muscle memory required for freehand sharpening. So the answer is to find a jig that works for you. A simple guide like this one will work on sandpaper, oil, water, or diamond stones, and even some power sharpening systems like the Worksharp. I recommend choosing a sharpening method first, then finding a guide or jig that fits your taste. Bench grinders are not really sharpening machines, they're grinding machines. They're designed to remove a lot of steel rapidly, and if you aren't careful, you can overheat and ruin your tool or even grind it away to nothing. That said, they do have a place in many sharpening routines. Many prefer the speed of the grinder to quickly reshape or repair a damaged bevel before they move on to one of these other methods for the sharpening and honing stages. I know wood turners especially like bench grinders because they favor what's called a coarse, sharp edge rather than a finely polished edge like you might have on a hand plane or a chisel. CBN wheels have also changed the way grinders are used for sharpening. Not only is CBN available in finer grits than standard grinder wheels, but its unique properties help keep your tools from overheating. So this brings us to power sharpening, and I've primarily used 3 of them over the years: the Worksharp, the Tormarmac, and a simple drill press method. Here's how they compare. First, the Worksharp. I've made several videos about it over the years, and for a while I was a big fan. It's relatively inexpensive as far as power sharpening systems go, but it's well designed. It's really a powered version of the Scary Sharp sandpaper method. The chisel port's convenient for small tools, but hand planes have to be sharpened on top, and that's where things went wrong with the Worksharp. Several years ago, Worksharp stopped making their upper platform attachment and some other accessories, and it severely reduced the machine's functionality for woodworking. To help solve that problem, I created a stand that functions as an upper platform, and that makes it possible to sharpen a lot more tools. I have a set of plans for it on my website. It's really not just plans, but also a guide because it will teach you how to use honing compounds on MDF wheels instead of expensive sandpaper and films. These upgrades make the Worksharp far more versatile in my opinion, but still, it wouldn't be my first choice if you didn't already own one. The other power system that I use, in fact the one I use almost daily, is the Tormarmac wet grinder. If the Worksharp is a power version of the Scary Sharp sandpaper method, then the Tormarmac is a powered version of water stones or diamond stones. It's a slow-speed, water-cooled sharpener that you cannot overheat your tool with. And it has a leather stropping wheel, so you can achieve as fine an edge as any other method. The real advantages of the Tormarmac, though, are found in its range of very precise and well-designed jigs. Other companies have tried to knock off the Tormarmac machine, but they always fail when it comes to the jigs. They're designed to be quick to set up with the same precise settings every single time, so you have to remove minimal material from your edge to restore its sharpness. That can significantly extend the life of your tools. The third and perhaps least expensive power method I've used involves a special mandrel fitting attached to an acrylic disc. This, along with a simple to make jig, holds tools at a precise angle while your drill press provides the power. When combined with good sandpaper discs, the speed can really be impressive. I've literally smashed the end of a chisel with a hammer and returned it to Scary Sharp in under a minute. You can use it as a power strop with some leather as well. You can get the parts to make one in a kit. I'll put a link below to where I got mine if you're interested. Those are all the methods that I've used over the years. So, which would I recommend? It depends. Remember, all of these are merely different routes to the same destination, a sharp edge. If you like to keep things simple, maybe a good diamond stone setup is the best for you. It isn't the cheapest way to go at first, but sandpaper will end up costing you a lot more over time. And a good set of water stones or oil stones will still cost you as much as a good diamond stone, plus you have to maintain those while diamond stones are essentially maintenance-free. Diamond stones are coarser than water stones too, but after sharpening to about 1200 grit, you can finish with some paste on a leather stropping, still get your mirror finish. I'll link below to my favorite diamond stone setup. If you want to go with a little more power, use a bench grinder when you have a lot of steel to remove, such as to reshape or repair a bevel, then use the diamond stone in the strop to finish up. Now, if you're an all-power guy, maybe consider the drill press sharpening method because it's not too expensive to get into and I still think very effective. I think you'll be surprised at how fast and easy it is to use. But the downside is it can be a bit more limited than other systems. I recommend it mostly for straight edge tools like chisels and hand planes, and with practice, I think you can use it with knives. Now, if you want the ultimate system, it's definitely the Tormarmac. I may be biased because I've used Tormarmacs for years and they've been a sponsor of my channel as well for a long time. But anyone that's used one will tell you that it can sharpen just about everything from knives to scissors to axes and do it all really, really well. It's not cheap, which is why I gave you the other recommendations as well. But it's a buy once, cry once sort of thing. I've never met a disappointed Tormarmac user. Regardless, I hope this video has helped take some of the confusion out of the subject so you can choose the method that's best for you.